ourselves. We're not going out there and getting awed by another team. They put on the fans the same way we do. I mean, they've won 10. I guess we've won 3. So, as I said, we're going to take it one game at a time, and that's all that matters, and we have a lot of confidence in ourselves.
There you go. All right. Well, I didn't know that that's how they do it. See, what would a win over the Saints mean for the Dallas Cowboys?
I don't know what a win would mean, but I just have to reflect on
what?
I haven't heard they put on their pants
the same way.
Now, I've had some people tell me that, and immediately I told them, you must be afraid. I put on my pants the same way as you, Carter. Obviously, you don't if you have to tell me that. I'm not expecting no NFL quarterback to be like, I put my trousers on just like them. Well, obviously, with the Saints winning 10 in a row and you winning 3 in a row, you're not going on the same way. I mean, like, stop, Dak. He was just reaching for stuff. He had run out of stuff to say. Yesterday in his locker room, he's a little frantic. Just like, I'm a man. He's a man.
Just so you know, that was the final answer he gave of his media availability. So it was wrapping up. Yeah, that was the end of it.
I haven't heard that since 9th grade. Our coach told us we were facing Cincinnati Moeller. They were undefeated. And they hadn't lost a game in like 8 years, national champ and everything. And the coach told us that as 9th graders. But after that, every coach that I was on and coached me, he realized that I was in the room. And I better not say that because Chris will fall out laughing.
Jason Garrett, before the game, is going to take out a tape measure and measure the goalpost down to the field and say it's 10 feet. It's 10 feet here. It's 10 feet anywhere, like they did in Hoosiers. Because I think that's also where they put their pants on the same way. Listen, to answer your question, Jenna, because I will try to do that, what would a win mean for the Cowboys?
What would it mean for the Cowboys?
It would mean I will stop talking about them just as, the NFC East. You beat the Saints. You snap their 10-game winning streak, a Saints team that's beaten everyone over the head by 3 scores or more. If you can do that on Thursday night, then I have to start considering, are you a different team with Amari Cooper? Have you figured out who you need to be? Is the defense, even a defense that we talked about before the season, maybe the strength of their team, is the defense even better than we thought it could be? Like, you start looking at the Cowboys in a totally different tier if they beat the Saints. But that's a big if. That's a big ask because the Saints, typically the home team has had this huge advantage on Thursdays. But this is an odd Thursday game because both teams played the previous Thursday. So it's no short rest. This is a regular week, just 3 days ahead for both teams. So, this would be the toughest win of the Cowboys season.
Yeah, in your journey in life, sometimes you need to be able to accomplish certain things so you get a certain accreditation or certain credit for it. And there are times in your season where you need to be able to validate your playoff run to be able to validate your season. To answer your question, this would validate a strong playoff run. And it also set up to being like, if we end up facing them again, even in New Orleans, they don't want to see us. So they could reverse this and put a little bit of fear into New Orleans by making it tough on them, by winning this football game and making their season and their run for the playoffs legitimate, because it wouldn't be. This would be their most legitimate win that they've had. When you talk about a team that's won 10 games in a row, and they have embarrassed some teams along the way. Sean Payton, I know he used to own a home there in Dallas in the offseason. I wouldn't be surprised on the national stage if this wasn't a message game. A lot like the Philadelphia game with Malcolm Jenkins. Remember, we're going to miss Malcolm Jenkins. They decided to bomb him late in the game when they were playing against the world champs. So Dallas, come ready. It's really dependent on Dallas's defense in third down. If they can get off the field enough on third down, they can pull the upset on Thursday night.
Because this would be more than just a win. It would be a statement game for the Dallas Cowboys. But just how do they do it, Nick? If you're the head coach of this team, what is your we'll get into it over the course of the week, but what's the basic outline for how you're going to beat a Saints team?
So the first thing, Steve talks about the defense. I'm going to talk about the Cowboys offense for a moment, because the offense pass blocking this year, they've given up 38 sacks, okay? For comparison's sake, Drew Brees been sacked 10 times. So we know that the Saints, particularly with Marcus Davenport back, they've got Rankins, Cam Jordan, Marcus Davenport. They have a legitimate defensive line that will get after the quarterback. You obviously have to keep Dak upright. You have to hope that the Dak-Amari Cooper combo we saw on Thanksgiving, that it's duplicable this week. And on the defensive side of the ball, you need a ball tipped to the line of scrimmage that you end up getting an interception on. You do need Drew Brees, who's been sacked this this year once per game to be sacked 3 times in this game. You need, I talked about it last week, those David Goliath games. You need to be, if 4th and short, go for it. You know, a surprise onside kick, consider it. And that's not an indictment on Dallas. There's only 2 or 3 teams in the league that can play New Orleans right now and not have that mentality of, we've got to add some variance to this game. That's how well they're playing. And the Cowboys' home field has this downside for them. It's indoors, too. Like, they're going to get
perfect conditions.
Right. You're going to be playing the Saints on a fast track in perfect conditions.
What I think, too, for Dallas to be able to win this game, it really boils down to, I'm going to take a page from what Ohio State did to Michigan. Remember that great defense we heard about Michigan? Oh, #1 NCAA? Yeah, that's the way the Saints' rush defense is. So I'm sending Ezekiel Elliott right at the heart of that defense, because not only will that would give me the chance to demoralize them, it also gives me the chance to shorten the game. You talking about variance? I'm talking about that variance. Yep. I get on the ball 25, 26 minutes. Let them to be able to deal with that. Let me eat away at that #1 defense. Let me begin to question their inability to make big plays down the field, and let Amari Cooper show up like he did on Thanksgiving. So, Zeke, Amari Cooper, you got to be able to devastate that #1 rushing defense. You know you have to win the turnover margin, and Amari Cooper and Ezekiel Elliott have to be special. Why? Because I know Drew Brees is going to be special, and I know Sean Payton is going to come up with at least 4 or 5 plays, Jenna, not like Green Bay. You're going to be sitting here on Friday and being like, man, did you see that? Did you see that formation? Did you see them fake to a guy, hide a guy, and then a guy end up being wide open? So that's what the Cowboys are dealing with.
All right, we got to take a break. Coming up, the Jaguars benched Blake